Kim, can we just start at the basics here? What is fostering?
Fostering is the need for young people in social care to have people who can look after them within safe and caring environments, whilst their parents or their families are at times in their lives where they need additional support.
And are you always on the lookout for new foster carers?
Definitely. The need for foster carers is always going to be there. I'm often asked when I'm recruiting from existing foster carers as to why you're recruiting if we have vacancies within our foster carer group. Reason being that there's not square pegs and square holes, there's round pegs and square holes, and it takes all sorts of people to foster, so we're always recruiting.
So what happens? So somebody sees a film in Thurrock or Harlow and they thought, oh, that would be interesting. What's the process?
The first step really would be to probably either ring me directly. I can add the details in, personal details, email. We have a website, www.cffa.co.uk, and there is somewhere there that you can register an interest. There are some criteria that clearly you need. You do have to have a spare bedroom, but outside of some of that, all sorts of people foster. So that would be your first step, and then you'll be contacted by myself generally. I do have some people who support me, but generally I'm the first port of a call. We would have a quick chat, and if you felt it was viable and I felt it was viable, I would arrange either myself or one of my social work colleagues to come out and visit you and discuss things further.
There's clearly a lot of support. That support goes on all the time,
yes.
Does it?
Yes, it does, yeah. Within an independent network such as a CFFA, you have your own supervising social worker. And the support starts from the very beginning with the support from myself. Then once you're visited, and if you do move forward, you're supported by an assessor who will carry you through the assessment. We would do all sorts of checks, and the culmination of that process would be a fostering panel. If you do become an approved carer, you will be allocated to an independent social worker who would support you and your family, and they work with you and your family to ensure that the placements you receive are as good a match as possible, and that any issues or any problems or concerns are dealt with quickly and efficiently to ensure that both the family and the young person receive the best possible care.
So from the first point of contact that a possible carer may have with you to actually caring, is there an average time?
Average, we like to say, is 4 to 6 months. We do very, very much want to get it through before that, but a lot of the stuff, a lot of the checks that we need to do, a lot of the assessment process we need to do is reliant on other people. The assessor, for instance, will arrange to visit usually over a dozen or so visits, and they're at the respective carer's convenience. The checks that we do would include things like medicals, the CRB checks, now called disbarring service checks. We would need to do additional references, employers' references. All those things take time, but the aim is that we do not want to delay the process any longer than we have to. And we ourselves work to our own personal guidelines and timelines as to how long we think an assessment should take.
Do the carers, once they're off and running, so to speak, do they work in silos, or do they ever get to meet other carers and share practice?
Yes, very much so. From the very, very beginning, we allow carers to sort of a mentor arrangement. The first contact really will be at Skills to Foster. Skills to Foster is a 3-day process that is part of the assessment process. And at that point, they will meet prospective other foster carers in a group. And then we do have on the 3rd day, we do have one of our own foster carers who comes in and will be available to talk to existing carers as to what it's really like, any worries they've got. Following approval, obviously there's an additional amount of training that is required to be done. As well as that, there are support groups that we require and our carers like to attend. And at that point, they do build up networks between themselves.
What do carers get out of it?
From my perspective, I've worked within the environment for quite a long period of time, and I've spoke to and worked with many, many carers. It's a really rewarding, very challenging thing to do. It's fulfilment, both for the carers and for the young people. And the best possible prospects for us at the placements, if need be and if appropriate, go to long-term situations. And carers receive numerous benefits in terms of knowing that they have made such a difference to a young person's life. And that young person will come back and visit them way beyond independence. And it's just such a satisfying thing for them to do.
Kim.